Hello, loves. Welcome to today's class. Today, we're going to slow things down a little bit, but with the idea of building strength from within. So, letting today's class be a reminder that sometimes the strength that we need is grown and happens in the pause. So, we'll be doing less flow and more holds today to remind us of that lesson. So, we'll begin, as always, in a comfortable seated position. Spine tall, crown of the head reaching toward the sky. And we'll gently close our eyes as a cue to go within. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and release with an audible sigh. One more deep breath in through the nose. Release with a sigh. Just take a moment to arrive. Body, mind, and heart, arriving to our mats, to this present moment. And just gently scanning your life and thinking about the one area, the one place where you could really use some extra strength today or in the week ahead. And as we build strength in our physical bodies and on our mats, so too do we build strength in the mind and in the heart so that we can approach the challenges of life with this ferocious strength, this gentle strength, and with grace. And gently open the eyes, and we're going to begin in child's pose today. So feet come together, knees apart. We're going to shift the weight back over the heels. Arms outstretched on the mat, and we send the weight back, forehead meets the earth. We'll take a deep, nourishing breath in through the nose and release with an audible sigh. One more deep inhale and release with a sigh. I'm just taking a moment to arrive on your mat today. Building strength as we hold, and just becoming a witness and an observer of what happens when you hold, what happens in the pause, what happens when you're a little bit uncomfortable. Just notice where you go. Notice the thoughts that come up in your mind as we move through our practice today. On the inhale, we're going to slightly come up and just tuck the toes into the mat and then shift the weight back over the heels, back into child's pose, forehead down to the mat. And pausing here, getting a deep stretch through the bottoms of the feet. Again, holding and always continuing to breathe as we hold. Allowing our breath to get us through any discomfort, through the challenge, through the challenges of life, knowing that we're stronger because of it. On the inhale, just gently coming forward, releasing, shifting back child's pose. On the exhale, hands come all the way to the right hand side. Exhaling when you get there. We'll place the left hand on top of the right just to deepen and open the stretch through the side body. Just take a few rounds of nourishing breath into that side body. On the inhale, walking hands back through center. On the exhale, we go all the way to the other side. Right hand comes on top of the left as we reach through the fingertips, sending breath from the fingertips all the way down the side body, the rib cage, all the way down to the hip area, and then sending it back into the world. 2 more rounds of nourishing breath. On the inhale, coming back through center. From here, coming on all fours, heels separate. Everything's about hip width distance apart. We're going to walk the hands down, setting the hips over the knees. Forehead comes down to the mat. Anahata, heart-melting pose or puppy dog pose. Really pressing into the palms of the hands to deepen that stretch and opening to the chest, the shoulders. And then just sending breath all the way down the spine to the tip of the tailbone. And exhale to release. Deep inhale. We exhale to release. Releasing the breath here on the inhale, coming onto all fours. Doing just a gentle and mindful cat-cow today. We'll spread the fingertips wide on the mat, pressing into the wrist, dropping shoulders from the ears. We'll, on the inhale, tilting the chin and the tailbone up toward the sky. On the exhale, gently rounding through the spine as we tuck chin into chest. Again, inhale, coming forward into cow pose, chin lifts. On the exhale, we gently round. So closing the eyes and taking a few rounds at the pace of your own breath. Again, allowing your breath to be your guide through your movement and through the challenges. Two more full rounds of cat-cow wherever you're at. And from there, walking the hands forward, we'll tuck the toes and press up into downward dog. So refining the position, we have hands hands are about shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide on the mat, pressing firmly into the palms of the hands. We'll press the chest through the shoulders, feet are hip width distance apart, heels come down toward the earth. We're going to pause here, continuing to breathe just as we hold the pose. I'm just noticing what areas of body are activated to hold in stillness. And just continuing to breathe as we build and strengthen from within and find our strength in the pause, in the stillness. We'll inhale here at center, coming up onto the toes. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees to the earth, pausing here, holding the knees just a few inches above the mat. And again, continuing to breathe as we hold. Just noticing what happens when the posture gets difficult or possibly uncomfortable. And just tapping back into the power of the breath to get you to the other side of the hold. Deep inhale here. And we'll release the legs, straighten the legs, sending the heels back toward the earth. From here, we're going to inhale, coming onto the toes, shifting weight forward into a plank pose. And again, holding for a little bit extra longer today. So really activating through the core and just noticing again, scanning from head to toe, noticing what muscles and what areas of the body are needed to activate and hold this pose in stillness. Pulling from the strength of the core, pulling up the strength from the earth, and continuing to breathe. Two more rounds of breath, holding here. From here, we're going to gently drop the knees, lowering ourselves to the earth. We'll plant the hands into the mat, fingertips spread wide on the mat. Inhale to drop the shoulders from the ears as we press into the elbows and look up toward the sky. So really dropping the shoulders from the ears, expanding, opening, radiating through the heart. And again, holding Sphinx pose for longer than normal. So scanning that body from head to toe and just noticing what's activated. Notice where you feel the stretch, where you feel opening, where you feel expansion. Maybe closing the eyes and just tapping into that power and wisdom of the breath as we hold. One more deep inhale here. On the exhale, pressing hands beneath the chest, tucking back toes, shifting back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, we'll step to the top of the mat, pausing in a brief forward fold. So just allowing your body to drape over itself, letting the head hang, arms and shoulders hang toward the earth. Gravity pulling you deeper towards her core. Maybe gently tucking chin into chest to release the back of the neck. And again, continuing to breathe. Gently bend the knees, slowly coming up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, hands meet at the top. On the exhale, hands come down to the heart. From here, going into chair pose. So we're going to take at the seat. Hands are by the heart. Spine is in neutral. Feet are about hip width distance apart. We inhale to reach the arms up toward the ears. Again, spine is in neutral. Feet firmly planted into the earth, pulling in the strength from the earth center, pulling it in through your feet, all the way up the legs, through your core, to the tips of your fingers, and out to the top of your head. So allowing the fire to build, and again, noticing where you go when things get a little challenging. Do you immediately come out of the pose? What are you saying to yourself? Just be the silent observer of what you do in stillness and in challenge. Two more rounds of breath here. On your exhale, we're going to straighten the legs, diving forward, forward fold. Inhale halfway with a flat back. On the exhale, planting the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to inhale, coming forward, holding a plank pose. So instead of going through a flow, we're going to hold, strengthen, and build that strength, not in the flow, not in the movement, but in the stillness, in the silence. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, shifting back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, lifting the right leg high. On the exhale, bringing the foot forward for crescent lunge. So starting with hands framing the foot, we shift the hips forward, deep bend in the front knee. On the inhale, coming up through center, starting with hands at the heart. We'll inhale here at center. On the exhale, we twist. Elbow comes to knee. We press in, looking up toward the sky. And again, holding a little extra today. So continuing to breathe as we hold, as we build, as we strengthen. On the inhale, we come through center, and then we reach hands up to the sky. So we're in full crescent lunge, deep bend in that front knee. Arms reaching, shoulders drop from the ears, opening and expanding through the chest and through the heart. And then we hold and we breathe. So continuing the movement and flow of energy through your breath as the physical body holds in strength and stillness. One more deep breath in here. On the exhale, hands frame the foot. We send the leg back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, flowing forward, again, coming to a plank pose, holding here. Continuing to breathe. One more deep inhale here. On the exhale, shifting back, downward facing dog, going on to the other side. Inhaling, left leg high. On the exhale, we land the foot forward, crescent lunge. Hands first frame the foot just to get the foundation set. Deep bend in the front knee. Hips squared forward. We inhale, coming through center, hands come to the heart. Pausing here for a breath. We'll inhale at center. On the exhale, we twist. Elbow comes to knee. We press in, looking up to the sky. And then we hold. Again, continuing the flow of breath as we strengthen from within. One more round of breath here. On the exhale, coming through center. From here, we reach arms up, drop the shoulders from the ears, finding our full expression of Crescent Lunge on this side. Expanding and opening through the heart, activating the muscles, building the fire from within, continuing to breathe as we hold, and again, noticing what happens in our body, in our minds, or in our hearts when the position gets a little challenging. Just observing. Two more rounds of breath. On your exhale, hands frame the foot. We send the leg back, downward facing dog. From here, we inhale, coming forward, plank pose, and we hold. Two more rounds of breath. And gently dropping the knees to the earth, heels come together, knees separate, we shift back, pausing for a few breaths in child's pose. And just tapping in, feeling that internal strength building, possible soreness in muscles, just noticing what body, mind, and heart are saying to you in this moment. On the inhale, we come up, shifting back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll inhale the right leg high. On the exhale, bringing the foot forward, warrior one. So back foot's at a 45-degree angle, deep bend in that front knee. We'll reach forward with the right arm and the left arm, inhaling to come through center, dropping the shoulders from the ears. Again, opening that heart, expanding, reaching to the sky. Pausing here, holding here. Really harnessing the power of the warrior spirit as we build that strength from within and build that strength in the pause or in the stillness as we hold the pose. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, hands come behind. We bring the fingertips together, opening up through the chest as we inhale. On the exhale, we dive forward, hands come above the head. Humble warrior, tucking chin in toward the chest to release the back of the neck. And again, we hold. Actively reaching arms up to the sky. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, we float through center, arms lift, warrior one. We'll inhale here at center. On the exhale, hands come down. We send the leg back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, coming forward, back to plank, holding. Continuing movement with our breath. One more deep inhale here. On the exhale, shifting back, downward facing dog. We inhale, lifting left leg high. On the exhale, coming forward, warrior one on the other side. Again, back foot's at 45 degrees, deep bend in that front knee. We inhale, coming up through center, dropping the shoulders from the ears, making sure weight is balanced between the feet as we hold the pose. Again, tapping into that warrior spirit, harnessing the power, the courage, and the strength needed to open and bare your heart to the world. I'm just noticing what you do when it gets difficult. Perhaps your muscles start shaking, your breath gets a bit labored, and using that breath to get you to the other side. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, hands come behind, fingers clasped. We open up the chest on the inhale. On the exhale, we dive forward, arms come above the head. Humble warrior, bowing in surrender. Surrendering to the stillness and to the silence as we continue to breathe. Two more rounds of breath. On the inhale, we float up through center, arms reach. We'll inhale here. On the exhale, hands straighten the foot. We send the leg back, downward facing dog. From here, inhaling forward, plank pose, holding and breathing. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, shifting back, downward facing dog, going into pigeon pose. We'll inhale to lift the right legs high. On the exhale, landing pigeon just behind the wrists. We'll walk the back knee back, untuck the toes, gently looking over the left shoulder to ensure that the ankle and foot are in alignment with the leg. Then coming back through center. We'll press the fingertips into the earth, pressing down, dropping the shoulders from the ears. We'll inhale to look up toward the sky. Upright pigeon, pausing here for a few breaths. We'll inhale here at center. On the exhale, gently walking forward, forehead comes to mat. Pigeon pose. Making sure that the weight is balanced between the hips and that you're not leaning to one side or the other. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and release with an audible sigh. One more deep breath in through the nose and release with a sigh. And then just surrendering into the stillness. Finding strength in the hold, strength in the pause, and strength in the silence. And as always, continuing the flow and movement of breath. Two more rounds of breath here. On the inhale, gently pressing up through the hands. Option to stay here in upright pigeon, or we can bend the back foot toward the body. The arm comes around, grabbing onto the ankle. So left foot is bent, left hand comes to the left foot. We press the ankle away to open up through the shoulder, and then option to lift the right arm. And pausing, continuing to breathe. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, we plant hands in, shift the weight back, downward facing dog. Going on to the other side. We inhale, lifting the left leg. On the exhale, landing it forward, pigeon pose. Again, walking that back knee back, untucking the toes, and just making sure the heel and the foot are coming out directly from the leg. We press fingertips into the earth, dropping shoulders from the ears, inhaling, looking up to the sky, pausing here in upright pigeon. Opening and expanding through the heart. And just feeling your personal strength and power in this moment. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, walking hands forward. Again, forehead meets the earth. As we settle into pigeon pose, making sure weight is balanced between the hips. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and release with an audible sigh. One more deep breath in through the nose. And we release with a sigh. And settling in and surrendering. Building strength from the silence and from the pause. Two more rounds of breath here. And we'll slowly press ourselves up, back to upright pigeon. Again, option to pause here, or we're going to bend the back leg in, reach around, grab the ankle, press the ankle away to open up through the shoulder, and then option to lift the opposite arm into the air. Holding here, continuing to breathe. Two more breaths here. On the exhale, we slowly lower. We're going to swing the back leg around. Bottoms of the feet meet, tucking feet in toward the chest. Butterfly pose. We'll inhale here at center. On the exhale, diving forward, tucking chin into chest. Butterfly pose. Getting a final stretch through the hips. And of course, continuing to breathe. On the inhale, slowly coming up through center, coming to a comfortable seat. We're going to walk the hands all the way to the right hand side. So the hand comes to the knee, pressing in, other fingertips come behind, and just doing a gentle twist to complete our practice today. So holding here, breathing down the spine, bringing balance and equilibrium. back to the nervous system. Deep inhale here. On the exhale, we come back through center, going on to the other side. So again, hand meets knee, back fingertips go into the earth. We leverage, so pressing hand into knee, twisting to look over the back shoulder, breathing into the spine. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, twisting back to center. We'll place the hands on the lap as a gesture of grounding. Bring the shoulders up to the ears and letting them fall into their sockets, and gently close the eyes. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Release with an audible sigh. One more deep breath in. Release with a sigh. Just taking a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up on your mat today to strengthen you, body, mind, and spirit. And remember that sometimes we find the deepest strength in the silence and in the pause. So when we're running on the hamster wheel, moving, flowing, going, reminding ourselves to sometimes just to sit down, to close our eyes, to bring the awareness within, so that we can truly hear our thoughts and truly feel our feelings and pull the strength from within. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed that class, and I will see you all tomorrow.